Hi, welcome. Here's your writing lesson 8.1. We are finally going to start a new writing lesson. For our writing lesson now, before we did the imaginative story, your stories were really good. I'm very proud of you. Now we're going to move on, and we are writing a procedural text. Procedural text is basically the steps on how to do something. So we are writing about how we can do something or how to get something done. All right, kind of like instructions. Isn't that what instructions are? So kind of like that. So before we start, let's see. We're going to learn how to do. We're going to learn about a text that tells how to do something, such as how to plant a seed, for example. When we write how-to stories or texts, an author often needs to ask questions to do research. So we normally have to ask questions to do research. So the types of questions that we can ask are formal and informal. So what's the difference between formal and informal? Formal kinds of questions are for research, reports, speeches, and presentations. Here's an example. How long do frogs live? Use relevant sources to answer the question. Your primary source is that first source on how you found the answer. And it's an interview an expert, read a journal about frogs. The secondary source could be, I saw it in a book or a magazine. That's a secondary source. All right, informal kinds of questions are for surveys, polls, focus groups, and web browsing. Today we're going to do an informal survey. But this is informal is stuff that, for example, asking, what is your favorite season? That's informal. So you use thinking, classmates' ideas, primary and secondary sources to answer these kinds of questions. So here in the informal, it shows a bar graph, and this bar graph answers this informal kinds of question. So so there's two types of question. What's one type of question, everybody? I need to hear everyone. What is it? Formal questions. And then, what's the other one? Informal. So formal questions are research, and informal questions are surveys and what people think, right? All right, let's move on. So, let's see here. We're going to practice researching using first-person accounts later today. Let's see. We're going to take a quick poll. This is going to be, I want you guys later to tell me if this is a formal or informal. So I'm going to ask what your favorite snack is. Your choices are either going to be popcorn, apple, milk, peanut butter, or banana. So if your favorite is popcorn, raise your hand. If your favorite is apple, raise your hand. You can only choose once. If your favorite is milk, raise your hand. If your favorite is peanut butter, raise your hand. Mine's peanut butter. And if your favorite is banana, raise your hand. Very good. So what kind of question was that? Was that formal or informal? Everyone? Informal. Informal. JC, you can go. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again. Was this kind of question or survey, was this formal or informal? It was informal. Very good. I was asking you questions about what you thought. It was informal. So some activities like, let's go back to the focus statement. The focus statement is some activities like planting a seed and caring for it happen in the same order every time. Do we ever do plant a seed in a different order? Let's talk about the order of planting a seed. What's the very first thing when I plant a seed? Think about it real hard. What's the very first thing you do, Christian? First, you dig a hole. Then what, Dominic? Put the seeds in. Then what, Berniah? Put the soil on top. Then what, Jasmine? Water it. Very good. Okay, so these things, you always do it in that order. Would you ever water the soil before digging it out, digging a hole? That doesn't make sense. What are you watering? Are you watering mud? What are you doing? Right? So some activities like planting a seed and caring for it, they always happen in the same order every time. Let's see if I can go to the next page. So we're going to come up with a research plan later, and we're going to talk about why it's important and how to answer that question. But before we do that, let's see. I'm going to ask, what words do we use to describe the order in which we do things? What are the words we use when we describe the order of things? Remember, this is another word for it is chronological. It's chronological order. And what words tell us that it's in chronological order? Very good. First, second, third, last, next, then, finally. All of those words tell us the order of which they happen. It's in chronological order. What is the most important thing to remember when we talk about the steps to do something? When I give you instructions on, for example, how to put this toy together. There's a toy and you have to put it together in order to play with it the right way. What's very important to be in the instructions? What's something that you need in the instructions or you're not going to get how to fix it? Or you're not going to... Raise your hand. What's something that needs to be in the instructions or you're not going to understand? Amaria. Okay, it has to be in chronological order. It has to be in the right order. That's right. What's another thing, Bernaya? Okay, good. It has to be in the steps. We just said that, in the right steps, in the right order. What's another thing, Leia? What? Okay, maybe, yes, have maybe the things you'll need. How about also making the steps clear and easy for people to understand? Maybe using less words, right? If step one is like a whole paragraph, are we really going to sit there and read everything? Be realistic, really. Are you? You're too excited. You want to finish. Are you going to read that whole thing? Yeah, no. Probably not. Not until probably the first time, probably not. But then if you try to figure it out on your own and you can't, then you'll probably go back and read the whole thing. But you're probably not going to read the whole thing. So it's important when you write the steps of a procedural text that it's clear and easy to understand. Maybe it is a lot, but it's clear and it's easy to understand. It's not, oh, and do this, and do this. Oh, I forgot, and do this too. What? That's confusing. It should be very clear. All right, so today we're going to conduct a survey. You should have out, it's the first page of your new writing packet. It says conduct a survey, focal text 8.1 on the bottom. All right, so we're going to ask our classmates what their favorite seasons are, and then it says write your classmates' initials in the proper column, starting with the bottom box. And then we're going to color the boxes with initials and use different colors for each column. So this is the same as we're doing in math. Ta-da! But it's a little different because this time we're going to write their initials. Initials means like the first letter of your first name and the first letter of your last name. So, class?
Yes.
Are you talking over me?
No.
No. You have a question, raise your hands. I'm going to explain what an initial is. For example, my initials are NY because my first name is Noor and my last name is Yusuf. So it's N for Noor and Y for Yusuf. That's my initials. Destin's initials would be what? DC. So your initials are the first letter of your first name and the first letter of your last name. You put a dot between the letters, okay, to show it's first and last, and you put a dot before as well. Okay, so we're going to write the initials of the person that voted for that season, and then we're going to go back and color it later. So, Gabby and Rosalind, you're not on right now, and I know that. So I'm going to go back and ask you later in the week what your vote is, so I can add it to our charts. Okay? But you're going to go ahead and add in everyone's information now, and then later we can go back and add yours too. So let's talk about it. Our choices are winter, spring, summer, and fall. And again, we're voting for our favorite season. So raise your hand. You can only choose once. And we're writing initials down, so we're going to know if you've chosen twice. If your favorite season is winter, raise your hand. Okay, we have Dominic, so I'm going to write D-E for Dominic. You guys are writing the same thing I am. After you write it, after I say your name, you can put your hand down. Whose else is winter? Raise your hand. Okay, it has to be your absolute favorite. Are you sure? Okay. Renaya, BT. Anybody else? Okay, mine is winter too. So I'm going to write NY. Go ahead and add me too. Write NY. It's not frozen, but it's all the way here. DE, BT, and NY. Anybody else? Okay, if your favorite season is... This isn't DC, this is DE. Destin, is yours winter? No, it's not. Okay. He's going to choose something else. He can choose whatever he wants, guys. Spring. If your favorite is spring, raise your hand. If your favorite is spring, raise your hand. Okay. Too late. Spring, no springs. We have 0 springs. Summer, raise your hand. Wow, we have a lot of summers. A lot of summers. Okay. We have, you can change it on yours, but I'm not changing it on mine. We have Leia's is summer. Leia, you can put your hand down. Destin is summer. Destin, you can put your hand down. We have Rena is summer. You can put your hand down. And Mariah is summer. You can put your hands down. Jasmine is summer. Jasmine, you can put your hand down. Christian is summer. Christian, you can put your hand down. And Haney is summer. Haney, you can put your hand down. Is there any other summers? I already have Dustin. Oh, I'm sorry, Amaria. Okay, wow, that's a lot of summers. So I think that's everybody. I'm going to go ahead and count. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, we're not changing. I'm sorry. It's too late. We're not going to keep changing and changing and changing. It's going to be confusing. You just choose once and you're done. All right. Did everybody choose something?
You forgot to put Jacob. JC.
JC, what's yours? Summer?
Yeah.
Okay, and JC.
Oh, and that's 8.
So there's 8. Do we have any falls?
No.
Okay, I guess we don't have any falls. So, which season is the favorite based on our results? Summer. Congratulations. You gathered information using first-person accounts. You used primary sources. That means we've asked the person directly. That's a primary source. So the most liked season is summer. Okay, very good. Now you can go back and color in your data. So you can color it in. We're using crayon or color pencil. Do not use marker. It's going to bleed through. That's all we're doing today for writing. I just wanted us to brainstorm and give you guys an idea of what we're going to be doing for the next unit. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll see you later. Bye.